Good morning or good afternoon, third and fourth graders. We are on our first part of our review for chapter 12. I'm on page 442 in your books. And the first part we're going to do is looking at the vocabulary words there. The directions ask to write it in a paragraph, put all those words in a paragraph. I'm not going to do that. What I want to do is just look at each word, and then I want you to think about what the definition of that is, or if you want to write it down while I'm writing it down, you can do that, okay? So the first word that is on here is savings, okay? So I want you to think for a minute about what does savings mean related to money. I'm going to write my answer down. Okay, and I came up with the money people save is called savings. So when you make money and you get it in from your job, you might have to spend some of it, and then the rest that you're trying to set aside and not use for regular expenses are called your savings. Okay, go ahead and erase. Just realized I don't have something to erase with, so I gotta find something. Okay. The second word is deposit, kind of related to savings. So deposit, what do you think deposit means? Okay, deposit. So I put that a deposit is when you put the money in a bank. So that's when you have the bank account, you put your money you're earning in there. That's a deposit. Okay. Next one is interest. Again, related to money. What is interest? Think about that, write it down, check it with me. I'm almost done. So if somebody wants to keep their money in a savings account, they could make interest. And this is the bank's way of paying you to keep your money there. So it's kind of a way for you to make a little bit of money. It's also something that you would maybe have thought of related to a loan. If the bank gives you money as a loan, you pay interest back to the bank because they gave you the money. So interest goes two ways. It's banks giving you the money in your savings account, a little bit extra, a couple dollars here and there, because it's kind of their way of thanking you for keeping your money in there. And then it's also related to loans that you would take out. If I took out $5,000 to buy a car, then I would have to pay interest as a way of paying for the loan that I got. So maybe I'd give me a loan for $5,000, and by the time I pay off my loan, I've paid $6,000 because I had to pay interest on it. Okay. Here we go with the next one. It is called invest. What does it mean to invest? Think about that, to invest. Okay, that would be to put your money into something. If I'm going to invest in something, I'm going to put my money into it to try to make a little bit more money back. That's like if somebody buys a house for $60,000, which is a pretty cheap house, but say they buy their house for $60,000, stay in it for 20 years. Then when they decide it's time to move, they would make money on it because they could probably sell their house for $100,000 now because it's been 20 years and the economy has changed. They've invested their money and ended up making a bunch in the process when they sell their house. Okay, that's invest. And then our last word on here is budget. So what is a budget? Now remember, if yours doesn't seem exactly like mine, that's okay too, as long as it's close. That's a little messy there, but a budget is a plan on how to spend and save money. So when you did that budget sheet last week, you saw how you write down the money you have coming in, and then you can write down the things you have going out so that you can see how much money you're actually spending on things, and it holds you accountable for whether you're going to have money to put into savings as well. Okay, so that is doing a budget. All right, we're going to do numbers 6 and 7, and then we will be done. All right, so number 6 says, why do people use credit cards? Lots of people use credit cards these days. So why do you think people would use credit cards? I want you to think about that for a second while I write it down. Why would you use credit cards? So many people use credit cards because you can buy the items now and then pay later. So if you really need something but you might not immediately have the cash for it, you could use a credit card to pay for it and then pay for it later on your credit card bill. The danger of that is if you go and you start swiping your credit card a whole bunch, you could end up having too many things to pay back at once. You always have to be really careful when you're using a credit card for that reason, okay? All right, and our last one for the first part of our review today says, what do businesses do if there is a high demand for a good or service? So if there's a high demand, what does that mean a business is going to do? Mine's getting a little messy. High demand means what does a business need to do then? They need to start providing a greater amount of those products. So if there's a high demand on that toilet paper, they need to be making a ton more to reach that demand from the people. Okay? Now, next time, we're going to go ahead and finish up this review, and then don't forget your test is coming up on Monday. All right, have a good day.